Hello, Python users everywhere. My name's TJ DeVries. I'm an engineer on the code intelligence team at Sourcegraph, and I'm here to tell you about a paradigm shift in Python navigation at Sourcegraph. Now you might be thinking, TJ, that was a terrible joke. Well, first off, my excuse is I've got that shirt. And secondly, I'm quite sure we can blame Twitter for this problem because they told me to do this just because I'm a dad. But moving on to the actual important parts of this demo, scip-python, the Python indexer that we're going to be talking about, allows users to navigate in new ways within Python code and across Python code bases at Sourcegraph. So I'm just going to walk you through a few examples to try and show why I think this is cool, and hopefully you agree as well. There'll be more information as well as some technical details in the blog post, so make sure you check that out. First, we're in a pretty popular library called Rich. And if you're not familiar with Rich, it does a bunch of really cool terminal UI items. Within Rich, you could imagine that the string title shows up a lot. So if you were to just look for every place that, say, this panel's title is referenced, you would like to have something more than just making sure that the two names match each other. So if we were to actually just look for the string title, you would see that there are a lot of references to the word title. You can imagine for something that does TUIs that would be the case. However, if we are inside of this class here, panel, and we're looking to do something like see everywhere that title is referenced, we can click on title here and we can see that there are only 5 times that this particular attribute of the class is referenced throughout the Rich code base. This allows you to navigate more quickly and effectively and accurately within your Python code. Not only that, we provide docstrings and hovers for these different items, and then more documentation if they're provided. For example, when you hover over something like this class, even its references, you'll be able to see the different documentation that's available for this class, which is great if you were actually not at this definition site, but instead somewhere at one of its references, and you were interested to see, what's that panel do again? Right, it's this kind of class. It does these items. And so that's all sort of things that are happening within the code base. But additionally, scip-python understands a few more items as well for the code. One example here that I want to show you is oftentimes when you're browsing some sort of base class, you may be interested in who is implementing this base class. So what we could do normally, you might do something like, okay, I'll look at the references. I'll try and find the references that have, class or something like that within them. But scip-python actually omits implementation relationships between different classes. And so we can actually see that there are 4 separate different classes that are basically child classes of this class, and we can connect those items together. So if we were to instead go down to, say, text element, and we wanted to look at what does text element look like, we could see this, and we see that it inherits here. Additionally, we know that this relationship extends to certain methods on a class. And so we're able to do something like say, oh, what is this on enter? We can say, oh, I see that these are actually implementations here for the different items that are created for the original parent class. So this relationship extends beyond just understanding necessarily a definition and a reference, but also sort of this idea of the connected structure between different classes. Not only, though, can we do this within one project, I just want to show you that it's possible to do some really exciting things like this common marks package here is a separate package that Rich imports. And if we click on this, you'll notice that we actually jump to a completely separate repository within Sourcegraph. This repository is actually a package, which means that this code here is downloaded for the correct version of Rich associated with common mark, so that this is the actual code that would be running if you ran pip install and then ran this on your machine. So this isn't actually the necessarily source code that you might find on whatever code host this code would be found, but actually the contents of the code from pip. I hope you enjoyed this little demo and a chance for me to drop a few dad jokes on everybody. If you have more questions, please reach out to me. You can tag me in the scip-python repo, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can. I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye.